Set a time to train at that time. Set a time to go to sleep at that time. Set a time to get up at that time. Don't tell yourself you need to do something and then don't do it. That's what I was talking about with Ariel. I knew in my head I was saying, get up at this time.
To be at the pinnacle of any game, you've got to be a little bit gone. That wasn't just a quote from Conor McGregor. It was a prophecy. Because the man who went from a broke plumber's apprentice in Dublin to the UFC's first ever double champion, to the most famous combat sports star in the world, would eventually lose himself to fame, fortune, and chaos. This is the self-destruction of Conor McGregor. Before the bright lights, before the millions, before the chants echoed through packed arenas, there was just a kid in Dublin with nothing. Conor McGregor grew up in Crumlin, a working-class neighborhood. His family lived paycheck to paycheck. His father pushed him towards safe jobs, secure trades. So at 17, Conor became an apprentice plumber, but the life crushed him. Long hours, freezing mornings, aching joints, staring at older co-workers who were broken by decades of labor.
I run New York City. I'm a f***ing pimp. F***ing guilty Mick. And without me, this whole f***ing ship sink.
One morning he quit. He came home and told his parents, "I'm never going back. I'm going to be a millionaire by 25. They laughed. But Conor wasn't joking. He had one obsession: fighting. Conor joined Straight Blast Gym under coach John Kavanagh. At first he was broke, the kid who would sprint out of the gym to avoid paying fee. But Kavanagh saw something rare, a fighter who simply refused to stop showing up. Conor trained twice a day, every day. He studied movement, angles, the psychology of combat. He became obsessed with precision striking, with the power of his left hand. Soon, the obsession turned into results. In Cage Warriors, Europe's top MMA promotion, McGregor captured both the featherweight and lightweight titles. It wasn't just that he won, it was how he won. Knockouts, swagger, a walk that would later be copied by presidents and athletes around the globe.
With regard to Conor McGregor, what is the holdup with his return?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the Ultimate Fighter was over back in August, and I can't imagine the plan was for him to be out as long as he's been.
Well, the first problem was that he broke that shin bone. He was recovering from that. That was one of the reasons we had it. And the other problem is he's fucking rich.
Conor wasn't just a fighter anymore. He was a star in waiting. In 2013, Dana White was in Dublin. Everywhere he went, fans asked the same thing: when will you sign Conor McGregor? Dana met him and immediately called Lorenzo Fertitta. "I don't know if this guy can fight, but if he can even throw a punch, he'll be a superstar. He can fight." McGregor's debut against Marcus Brimag has lasted less than a round. He lit the arena on fire, knocking Brimag out with clinical uppercuts. Afterward, he grabbed the mic and said, "We're not here to take part, we're here to take over." It wasn't just a soundbite, it was a mission statement. Over the next 2 years, McGregor ripped through the featherweight division. But it wasn't just knockouts, it was the showmanship. His trash talk became legendary. "Who the f is that guy? Break out the red panties. I'll knock you out inside 1 round." And the difference? He backed it all up.
Dustin is a good kid. It was weird to me that he was like, "I've never hated a guy as much as I hate this guy in my life," or something like that he said. To me, that is weird. I cannot hate a man that has the same dreams as me. Make no mistake, I am cocky in prediction. I am confident in preparation, but I am always humble.
His ultimate test came against Jose Aldo, the pound-for-pound king, undefeated for 10 years. McGregor tortured Aldo psychologically. The press conferences, weigh-ins, world tours, he was relentless. He called Aldo fragile, mocked Brazil, and said he'd take his head clean off. On fight night, December 2015, McGregor needed just 13 seconds. One left hand, one historic knockout, and it was the fastest title fight finish in UFC history. McGregor had fulfilled his prophecy, but he wasn't done. At UFC 205 in Madison Square Garden, McGregor faced Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight belt. Alvarez was a battle-hardened veteran. Many thought he would expose McGregor. Instead, McGregor delivered one of the most flawless performances in UFC history, dropping Alvarez repeatedly with surgical precision. He finished him in the second round.
No, he did not tap premature. He did not defend it, though.
Okay.
Here's the deal. He was done. He was beaten down. Khabib f***ed him up. Khabib smashed him. But there was a lot of people that don't train, and this was very frustrating to me.
Okay.
There was many people that don't train.
McGregor stood with 2 belts on his shoulders, declaring, "I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody." It was iconic. Conor McGregor had reached the pinnacle, the first simultaneous 2-division UFC champion. By this point, McGregor wasn't just a fighter. He was the UFC itself. Pay-per-views shattered records. Irish fans flooded Vegas, turning fight weeks into carnivals. His walk, his quotes, his knockouts, everything he did went viral.
You know who would I think would
yeah.
grow even bigger as a superstar if they did a podcast? Your podcast,
Who?
Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah.
I've sat down with
But how
Conor.
big can he get?
Well, I'm just.
Yeah.
I think he would get less hate. Obviously, he has all the accolades in the world. But as a person, if you sat down and you talked to him, you just didn't get all that, hoopla over here.
The UFC needed a star to take them to the next level. McGregor was the perfect storm. Charisma, fighting skill, and marketing genius rolled into one. But what do you do after conquering MMA? For Conor, the answer was boxing. In 2017, rumors swirled of a crossover fight with Floyd Mayweather. At first, it sounded impossible. But McGregor's mouth and Mayweather's love of money made it happen. The press tour was chaos. Conor wore custom suits stitched with insults. He mocked Floyd's size. Floyd mocked Conor's inexperience. The fight itself, competitive early, but ultimately a Mayweather masterclass. Floyd stopped McGregor in the 10th round, but the result didn't matter. McGregor walked away with over $100 million. The fight became the most lucrative in combat sports history. It was the ultimate high, but it also planted the seeds of decline. Because after you've made that much money, after you've been on the biggest stage in the world, how do you go back to fighting hungry contenders in the UFC?
Conor McGregor doesn't need money.
So are we at a point here where Conor McGregor may never fight for the UFC? Can you say that?
If you had shitloads of money, would you be sitting here right now asking me this fucking question?
No.
No, you would not. That just answered your question.
Well, I answered no. So you're saying there's a chance that Conor McGregor will not fight again for the UFC?
I don't know.
After Mayweather, McGregor returned to Dublin a global icon. He bought mansions, Lamborghinis, yachts. He launched Proper 12 whiskey. He had everything he ever dreamed of. But with that wealth came distractions, long breaks from training, nightclubs, altercations. The obsession was fading. Dana White admitted it. When you can rack up $400 million in revenue for the company, you can do whatever you want. But when you're living that life, it's hard to be hungry. McGregor's greatest strength had always been his obsession. Now it was gone. Meanwhile, Khabib Nurmagomedov was tearing through the lightweight division, undefeated, relentless. The polar opposite of McGregor. The feud exploded in 2018 when Khabib slapped Artem Lobov, McGregor's teammate. Conor retaliated with the infamous bus attack in Brooklyn. He hurled a dolly through a window, injuring fighters inside. McGregor was arrested, but the UFC turned the chaos into hype. Their fight became the biggest in UFC history, but the build-up was different, darker. McGregor insulted Khabib's family, religion, and homeland. It wasn't witty anymore. It was venomous. In the cage, Khabib dominated. He took McGregor down, mauled him, and made him tap in the 4th round. Then chaos erupted as Khabib leapt into the crowd, attacking McGregor's team. It was one of the ugliest moments in MMA history.
I didn't get up at that time. Train at this time. I didn't train at that time. Don't eat this. I ate that. Don't drink that. I drank it. And these all just infiltrated my mental strength.
McGregor's aura of invincibility was gone. After the Khabib loss, McGregor spiraled. He smashed a fan's phone in Miami. He punched an elderly man in a Dublin pub for refusing whiskey. He faced assault allegations and multiple arrests. His public image crumbled. Fans began to see a pattern: the fame, the fortune, the ego. It was destroying him. The same man who once inspired millions was now drowning in his own chaos. In 2020, McGregor tried to reset against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He was respectful, focused, calm, and on fight night, he destroyed Cowboy in just 40 seconds. Shoulder strikes, a head kick, and punches. Vintage McGregor. For a moment, hope returned. Maybe there was still fire left. Maybe the old Conor was back. But Khabib soon retired after his father's death. The rematch would never happen. McGregor turned his attention to Dustin Poirier. Their second fight in 2021 was respectful. Conor even promised to donate to Dustin's charity. But inside the cage, Poirier knocked McGregor out. The first KO loss of his career. It shook McGregor. For the trilogy, he turned venomous again. He insulted Dustin's wife, promised he'd leave on a stretcher, and declared himself in a vicious mode. In round 1, Conor broke his leg, sitting against the cage. He screamed, "This is not over. Your wife is in my DMs." It was haunting. A broken man still clinging to his persona. Since then, McGregor has promised comeback after comeback. Michael Chandler, Manny Pacquiao, even Canelo Alvarez. But nothing has happened. Outside the cage, more scandals, more headlines, more chaos. So who is Conor McGregor now? Is he the Irish kid who inspired millions with his obsession, who proved that belief could take you from nothing to everything? Or is he the fallen star who lost himself in money, fame, and destruction? Maybe he was right all along. McGregor once compared himself to Vincent van Gogh. "I lost my mind doing this game. Like Van Gogh, I dedicated my life to my art and lost my mind in the process. That might be his legacy. An artist who burned brighter than anyone else, but who couldn't escape the destruction that came with it. From nothing to everything to gone. So what do you think? Is Conor McGregor the greatest MMA star of all time? Or just a cautionary tale of fame gone wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because love him or hate him, Conor McGregor changed MMA forever.